Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. In today's Last of Us Part 2 video, we're going to be discussing the gameplay showcase that they had. We've got about a minute of new gameplay footage. It's obviously from old scenes we've seen, but new little looks of it. We're also going to be discussing the features and some other little things that they mentioned. The video is about 8 minutes long, but I'm glad at least we got a little new footage that I can talk about. But we're going to talk about the features first, and then we're going to talk about the new gameplay footage and try to break that in. Next week, they will be going through the details of The Last of Us Part 2, so we'll make another video next week discussing all that stuff. But this is the gameplay. Before I start this video, if you guys could drop a like and subscribe if you are new to the channel. We're about to hit 243,000 subscribers, so greatly would appreciate that. And if you guys would like me to upload a video with all the gameplay showcase so far that we've gotten, just comment it down below. I may do that tomorrow, depending. But hope you guys enjoy, and I'm going to first go through the main points of the video. We'll showcase them, and then I will talk through it just as I did for last week's first Inside the Story.
Under here.
What the gameplay needs to do is immerse you in the world, give you as many interesting actions to survive in this world and overcome obstacles. And obstacles could be infected, it could be other people, it could just be the environment, it could be rushing water, anything that could happen in this post-apocalyptic world.
Are you clean? Yeah.
But more than anything, it needs to put you in Ellie's shoes, that you're experiencing what Ellie's experiencing, making you feel what she feels. Because the more we do that, the more the emotional beats of the story work for us, and the more they work for us in this very unique way that only works in video games. Everything kind of comes out of the story. And how do we do it through systems? So one is you have to feel the pressure of survival. Survive by the skin of my teeth. How do I use all the scrap around me? Any kind of bullet, any kind of rag, any kind of bottle of alcohol. How do we give you that sense of being a survivor in this world? Ellie is very small compared to Joel and more nimble. How do we make you feel like you're not the strongest person in the room, but you still should be able to rise to the challenge and survive, you know, a fight with a bunch of people that are all bigger than you? A jump button.
Deal.
In the first game, we had a clamber button, but not really jumping. And here, Ellie can jump. The combat scenarios are much more vertical, where Ellie can use elevation to her advantage.
Prone is a huge, huge one. Prone, obviously, it means to lay flat on the ground. Something so simple, again, something that in real life you'd be able to do. Letting the player have access to all their weapons, all the items, crafting, everything while in that position. And it just creates so many more emergent things in gameplay.
Now that we have this other state that the player could be in, which are very low to the ground, how else can we use this other than just hiding in vegetation? We're like, well, there's a lot of man-made things or different structures that have collapsed that allow just enough space for you to crawl under, which means that now, as enemies are looking for you, you can crawl under things and hide, and it's just one more way to assess your environment and use it to Ellie's advantage.
Dodging is a big one, because now with dodge, anytime you're in a scuffle, you have a chance to get away. You have a chance to counterattack. It lets escape be an option as well. Sometimes you just gotta run. And that is another part of this world, which is sometimes the threat is so overpowering that you just have to get away. When you are partially hidden, or you're in grass, that means people from afar can't see you, but people from closer can kind of see you. They will eventually acquire you. You're not completely hidden when you're in grass.
She went into the grass. Watch yourself.
And it makes you as a player become much more aware of your surroundings.
Jump, prone, dodge, all these things feed into both exploration and combat, because it lets us expand the space. The size of spaces can be bigger, the intricacy of spaces can be more complex, and it still works exactly as you would expect.
Making the level design open that there are actually entire story moments, entire combat encounters, like full scripted sequences that you may completely miss. And there are things that we feel like, even though a portion of our player base may never see these things, the fact that when you do encounter them, you feel like you discovered them, it lends them this charm and this magic that I think is unique to games, that, you know, this happened to me because of what I did and what the place I explored to.
Meaning that when you enter new spaces, you want to look around for supplies. You want to open drawers and cabinets and look for different things that will allow you to craft either items that can help you heal, items that can help you attack multiple enemies at once, such as the Molotov or the landmine that Ellie can craft. Items that can help augment your weapons, like a silencer for her pistol, or craft new kinds of ammo.
It'd be useful.
Through the weapon upgrade system, through the player upgrade system, there aren't enough resources in a single playthrough to fully upgrade your character. The choices that you make, you're going to have to live with, and we wanted to make sure that all of the choices that you made had a really noticeable and tangible effect on the way that you play. You feel a greater kinship with Ellie because you are living with decisions that you've already made. Like you are continuing this through line of her journey through this world, and the moment-to-moment gameplay is influenced by that in a way that we haven't before. The realization that your choices have these long-term consequences is very much like the nature of the narrative of the game. And I'm happy that the mechanics are supporting that.
So lots of details to cover in that. Those are just the main points. Again, if you want to see the full video, link down below in the description. So firstly, we're going to be discussing one of the biggest statements I took out of that is the fact that they basically confirmed in their first walkthrough you're not going to find everything. And we know how I am playing most of these games. I'm a collectible hunter. I like to look at every nook and cranny, see what I can find that usually the regular player that speedruns or just does a casual walkthrough won't find. Meaning there's going to be replayability. Meaning when we go back through the second time, whether that's on grounded or, you know, another harder difficulty, we'll be able to find a lot more stuff in the world, which is very cool. New quests potentially. Also, it was confirmed that you're not going to be fully able to upgrade Ellie in The Last of Us Part 2, and they basically made the premise that your choices are going to matter and how you upgrade Ellie and her abilities. So there's going to be different builds for Ellie, and I wonder how I'm going to organize Ellie and how I'm going to organize the weapons. The weapons have the same setup, upgrades, everything is going to be important. They want to make the choice stuff very, very fundamental to how you play the game. And that means there's going to be the New Game Plus. Yes, the New Game Plus is going to be very important when we do our second run through. The next part I'm going to talk about is the new gameplay mechanics. We have 3 or 4 that they went through in this video. The first one being prone, which again, you can go prone in the grass, prone under a car, just use prone to hide. But remember, if you go under a car, for example, Neil had mentioned enemies could pull you out and try to kill you. So again, you're not entirely safe going prone. And the same with the dogs. When you're in prone, the dogs can detect you. They could sniff you out even when you're hiding through the grass. So cool detail there. Then we have the jumping, which you're going to be able to use to jump through, again, vehicles and other objects in the world instead of just, you know, the climb button they had in The Last of Us original ones. So yes, and there's also dodging, which probably is going to be the biggest one I would say that they're going to be really focused on. That one's going to be very crucial to combat since, again, you're not Big Joel and you're just knocking everybody out with punches. And it makes the gameplay a lot more fluid, in my opinion. In The Last of Us, there was a lot of buggy encounters with the melee. We were unable to dodge and stuff, and it sucked. It really sucked getting caught in those situations. Now with dodge, I've got a good shot in a fight, even if there's a big hulking enemy coming at me, you know? And that's the point Naughty Dog's trying to lay out here, is that the big con of Ellie, despite this agility, dodging, jumping, is that everything around her is probably in all likeliness going to be bigger. and that's going to lay out a disadvantage. So next week, ladies and gentlemen, we will be getting the details for The Last of Us Part 2. I cannot wait to cover those and see what they're going to be showcasing. But that is going to do it for the video. There's about 1 minute of new gameplay. If you guys would like me to upload the compilation of it tomorrow in terms of my old, one that almost has 300,000 views on the channel, let me know down below in the comments. Again, be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you are new. And be sure to join the 32% of people that are subscribed that watch these videos by hitting that red subscribe button. And we'll catch y'all in the next one. Toodles, 28 days remain.